Welcome to English class. Today I am going to teach you English of a Standard 7, Section 1. For a while, misunderstood him. Okay? You also take a test. For a while, misunderstood him. It was this extract of Jayant Narulkar from the Times of India, 15th March 2018. For a while, misunderstood him. Jayant Narulkar is paying a tribute to Stephen Hawking, and he was an astrophysicist, and he was an outstanding cosmologist who studied the revolution of universe. Here is a picture of Stephen Hawking. Can you see this one? Okay. For a while, misunderstood him. And here is a touching tribute to Stephen Hawking, a pathfinder in science and an outstanding cosmologist. And he, in India, he is a best known astrophysicist. Who was astrophysicist? He is an astronomer, studied about this universe, and astrophysicist. This is a story from the year 1963. A colleague from King's College, Cambridge, casually mentioned, "Do you know Stephen Hawking?" The story of about 1963, and a colleague of King's College. Colleague here means a person who work with us. He asked, "Do you know Stephen Hawking?" Doctors recently told him that he has just about 2 years to live. Doctors recently said that he had to live just 2 years to live. It was a shock to hear this. It was a great shock. And I had met him when both of us were working at a Royal Observatory, Greenwich, during the summer vacations. And the narrator and this Stephen Hawking working the same Royal Observatory, Greenwich, during the summer seasons or summer vacations. Here, the summer in England are usually enjoyable, a time to relax and have a fun. The summer season, it is enjoyable. As students, we should give very little work, because at that time they have nothing work. And so at Greenwich we were to put up an ancient fort that had a lot of greenery facilities for tennis, table tennis and billiards. And this time they went for a Greenwich, then went for this playing like a tennis, table tennis, etc. And Stephen also took part like any other student. And Stephen also took part these games. Nobody ever thought at that time Stephen had any physical disability. He had no problem. Other colleagues believed that he had no problem. And his speech was a little unclear. But since the English elite would speak in a similar fashion, and then the problem, what was the problem? His speech was not clear. That was usually some persons speak in a similar fashion. So they thought that it is his way of speech. I did not find anything amiss. Amiss here means wrong. I did not find anything wrong. I would think he acquired his accent at a big public school. Accent here means that is a particular way of pronouncing words. Pronounce in a particular way. There used to be a misunderstanding among the people that those who speak with an accent considered themselves special. That is, particular style of pronounce in the Kelkumbo, special people in the he is not clearly speaking. He is speaking like a stammering. I had a similar misunderstanding about സ്റ്റീഫൻ. അപ്പോൾ സ്റ്റീഫനെ കുറിച്ച് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വേ ഓഫ് സ്പീക്കിംഗ് ആണ് എന്ന് മാത്രമേ എല്ലാവരും വിചാരിച്ചുള്ളൂ. നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് മീ, ഈവൻ സം ഓഫ് മൈ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ഹാഡ് സെയിം പെർസിറ്റേഷൻ. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനെ സംസാരിക്കുന്ന കുറേ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ട്. വി ടോൾഡ് അവർ സെൽസ് ദാറ്റ് ദിസ് ഈസ് ഹൗ ദീസ് ഓക്സ്ഫോർഡ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് വെർ. This is how the Oxford students were behaving, like that. When Stephen received a degree from Oxford in 1962, അങ്ങനെ ഓക്സ്ഫോർഡിൽ നിന്ന് ഡിഗ്രി എന്ന് കിട്ടി 1962, and he came to the Cambridge to pursue doctorate. Then after he joined the Cambridge to take a doctorate, PhD, and we would meet every day. His style of speaking remained unchanged. At that time also, he speak a different way. When he spoke, some words would slip away. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ്, സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ചില വാക്കുകളൊക്കെ വിഴുങ്ങിപ്പോകും. And so none of us knew that this was probably the first symptom of the disability that was slowly engulfing him. Engulfing here means affecting very strongly. അന്നേരം പക്ഷേ നമുക്ക് അന്നേരം അറിഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല it is a sign of disability ആണ് ആരും ഓർത്തില്ല. സിംറ്റം ഹിയർ മീൻസ് സൈൻ ഓഫ് എ ഇൽനെസ്, ഒരു രോഗമോ ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ലക്ഷണം, അതേപോലെ എന്തോ രോഗത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു സൈൻ ആണെന്ന് ആരും വിചാരിച്ചില്ല, ഏതോ ഡിസബിലിറ്റി ആണെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചില്ല. സോ ദാറ്റ്സ് വൈ when I heard the news from my colleague, I was deeply shocked, because when I heard from my colleague, or they said that doctor says that he has just 2 years to live. It was a great shocking to me. ഭയങ്കര ഒരു ആഘാതമായിരുന്നു ഈ വാക്കുകൾ കേട്ടപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക്. Later I got to know that he had a amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a neuromuscular wasting disease also known as low Lagrange's disease. He was affecting some nervous disorder. അതാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് പറയുന്നത്, നെർവസ് ഡിസോർഡർ. ഓവർ ടൈം ദ ഡിസീസ് റെഡ്യൂസ്ഡ് ഹിസ് bodily control and flexing in a finger voluntarily eye movements. Then gradually it affected his moving of a finger, and he was unable to control his eyes movements, all this. Then rapid changes in his physical conditions were visible after he joined Cambridge. He would at times stumble while walking. But Stephen completed PhD thesis and started further research. പിന്നെ ഗ്രാജുവലി ഇദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഫിസിക്കൽ കണ്ടീഷൻസ് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കുന്നു. പക്ഷേ ഇത്രയൊക്കെ ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ടീസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇദ്ദേഹം PhD കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്തു and started further research. He also joined next research, and he did not acquire much help from his guide. Guide here means a teacher. That is a teacher who helped him with his research, but he did not get any help from this guide also. During 1966 and 67, Stephen solved a difficult question regarding Einstein's theory of relativity. Then in 66-67 period, he completed the Einstein's theory of relativity. നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാലോ റിലേറ്റിവിറ്റി എന്താണ്, Einstein's theory of relativity, and that he solved that difficult questions. This was the time when his illness snatched away his difficulty to use his hands for writing. This time he was not able to use his handsന് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പറ്റാതെ വരുന്നു. So he started doing calculations in his mind instead. So he done the calculation through his mind only. His colleagues would listen to his unclear speech and note down the equations. ഈ സമയത്തും colleagues write down his speech and equations also. And Stephen dictated. It wasn't surprising that every equation was perfect. അദ്ദേഹം പറയും, പക്ഷേ not able to write, എല്ലാം ഒന്നും ക്ലിയർ ആകത്തില്ലായിരുന്നു. Though his body failed, അങ്ങനെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഡിസീസ് ബോഡിയെ അഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു. സ്റ്റീഫൻ യൂസ്ഡ് ബ്രെയിൻ സക്സസ്ഫുള്ളി കണ്ടിന്യൂഡ് ഹിസ് റിസർച്ച്. പക്ഷേ ബോഡി അദ്ദേഹത്തിനെ ഡിസീസ് അഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്തതിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മൈൻഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് അദ്ദേഹം റിസർച്ച് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടേ ഇരുന്നു. ബിറ്റ്വീൻ 1916 and 1973, സ്റ്റീഫൻ പ്രസൻറ്റഡ് ആൻ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് തിയറി ഓൺ ബ്ലാക്ക് ഹോൾസ്. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട തിയറി ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച്, ബ്ലാക്ക് ഹോൾസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. ബ്ലാക്ക് ഹോൾ ഹിയർ മീൻസ് an area in a space that nothing, not even light, that area has a nothing, not no light also can escape from, that because why, because the gravity is so strong there, that is why no light to escape there. That so 1974 he discovered that black holes could emit radiations. What is his idea? As a black hole can absorb radiation, which was a surprising findings. So his theory was known as Hawking effect. What is a Hawking effect? That black holes also absorb radiations. Stephen's success was powered as much by determination as his first wife, who gave him immense support. His first wife also supported him so much. 1964-65, Stephen became friends with Janie Weil, and they got married. Then 64-65, she again married this Janie Weil, and wasn't his decision to accept Stephen's disability to marry him an equally courageous. It was a great courage one, because Janie married this disability persons like this Stephen. They have two healthy children, a daughter and a son. Then he lost his speech. Stephen started using voice processor. Then lost his speech, he used the voice processor. It is a computerized handling of a voice. During this time, he wrote a brief history of time. He proved wrong the doctors who had said that he had only 2 years to live. But അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ ഡോക്ടർമാരുടെ പ്രവചനം തെറ്റായിരുന്നു. കാരണം അവർ പറഞ്ഞു 2 വർഷമേ ജീവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ. Undeterred by this disability, Stephen made path-breaking contributions to fundamental science. But he stopped his disability, but he continued to make a contribution to science also. അതായത് അദ്ദേഹം മുഴുവൻ തളർന്നെങ്കിലും സയൻസിലുള്ള സംഭാവനകൾ തുടർന്നുകൊണ്ടേ ഇരുന്നു. And he continued his work until his brain was functional. അതായത് ബ്രെയിൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനം നിൽക്കുന്നിടം വരെ he continued his work. That is, Stephen Hawking passed away 14th March 2018. And he had a strong determination and a willpower. That is why disability cannot stop him to work. That's about this lesson. You read it well and studied it well. Okay.